history of technology, the development over time of systematic techniques for making and doing things. The term technology, a combination of the Greek techne, art, craft, with logos, word, speech, meant in Greece a discourse on the arts, both fine and applied. When it first appeared in English in the 17th century, it was used to mean a discussion of the applied arts only, and gradually, these arts themselves came to be the object of the designation. By the early 20th century, the term embraced a growing range of means, processes, and ideas in addition to tools and machines. By mid-century, technology was defined by such phrases as the means or activity by which man seeks to change or manipulate his environment. Even such broad definitions have been criticized by observers who point out the increasing difficulty of distinguishing between scientific inquiry and technological activity.
Here are the different growth of technology that we may have noticed. The following information may surprise you, so sit back and enjoy the rest of the video.
The earliest washing machine was the scrub board invented in 1797. More advancements were made to washing machine technology in the form of rotating drum design. Basically, this early design consisted of a drum washer that was rotated by hand to make the wooden drums to rotate washing the clothes. As metal drums started to replace the traditional wooden drums, it allowed for the drum to turn above an open fire, raising the water temperature for more effective washes. Electric washing machines were advertised in newspapers as early as 1904. U.S. electric washing machines sales reached 913,000 units in 1928. Washer design improved during the 1930s. The machine was now enclosed within a cabinet. By 1940, 60% of the 25 million wired homes in the United States had an electric washing machine. Bendix Corporation introduced the first domestic automatic washing machine in 1937. Many of the early automatic machines had coin-in-the-slot facilities and were installed in the basement laundry rooms of apartment houses.
The Public Utility Jeepney or PUJ, known as the Auto Calesa or AC before the war, has been with us for a long period of time. Sooner or later, however, the plan to impose the Public Utility Vehicle or PUV modernization program by 2018 will make the PUJ a relic of the past. The term Auto Calesa first appeared in 1910. 22 economy cars were imported and rented out to the average commuter for 2 pesos an hour, much cheaper than the 6 pesos to 8 pesos hourly rate of garage vehicles. Immediately after the Pacific War in 1945, functioning vehicles in any form were highly regarded by the riding public. Surviving ACs were seen being used beyond the normal passenger and load limitations. Other pre-war cars with converted trunk areas to accommodate more passengers were also seen traveling around Manila. Note the sabit passenger waiting for the vehicle to move forward. It was only in 1946 that a semblance of uniformity for PUV designs came about. By then, surplus military jeeps and weapon carriers have been sold to private entities and converted into carriers with 2 rows that seat 10 passengers each. Meanwhile, jeepney folk art has been evolving since 1946. Monochromatic body colors were replaced with 2 or 3 tone schemes. Stainless steel inserts in the form of floral designs, stars, and body moldings also appeared. Additional accessories like hood ornaments, side mirrors, and hubcaps were added in the 60s. Jeeps in stainless steel body panels arrived around 1971. Locally made wheels, horns, and spot lamps can in the 80s. some Novaliches to Manila air-conditioned units even appeared during the decade. Today, PUJ exteriors have panel murals normally depicting family portraits, religious icons, sceneries, movie, and anime characters. The Department of Transportation of the Philippines launched a PUV modernization program in 2017 with the goal of making the country's public transportation system efficient and environmentally friendly by 2020.
When was the last time you went to a hospital? Do you remember what is it like the first time you got inside a healthcare facility? Well, you may not notice the changes that happens through time, especially if you're healthy and rarely go at the hospital. But the technological advancements in the medical field are amazing, from the most basic ones to the most complex. For example, mercurial thermometers made out of glass were the standard thermometers before digital thermometers emerged. They were soaked in containers filled with alcohol and cotton. Mercurial thermometers need to be shaken hard to lower the mercurial line up to a certain point. Back in those days, nurses constantly shaking thermometers were the usual scenes in the ward. If you've ever seen Grey's Anatomy, a medical drama series, beepers were a thing in the hospital before. In order to page the staffs, especially the doctors, you have to use a beeper. Now, with smartphones everywhere, we bid farewell to beepers. In connection to this, before the advent of computers, nurses documented the nursing care they rendered through tricolor charting. Different colors of ink were used depending on the shift of duty. Black ink was used for a day shift. Green ink was for the afternoon shift, and red ink was for the night shift. During those times, nurses piled up charts at the end of the shift so they could finish their narrative chartings. Nowadays, charting and record of patient care is made easier with the newest computers and gadgets. Back in the days, when hospitals were still using mercurial BP apps, nurses could get blood pressure readings without using a stethoscope. This is possible through palpitation, where you will feel when the loudest beat will occur as you inflate the cuff. Nowadays, digital BP apps can instantly obtain blood pressure reading, which saves time for most nurses. However, getting blood pressure reading through palpitation is still practiced during emergency situations, especially when the patient is hypotensive. Did you know sterilizing urinary catheters and syringes were a thing back then? Different disposable medical equipments we use nowadays were made to be reusable decades ago. Nurses had to re-sterilize these equipments after each use. They were made from glass, and re-sterilization required boiling or autoclaving. Since the emergence of HIV in the 1980s, healthcare institutions were encouraged to use disposable urinary catheters and syringes. Re-sterilizing them proved to be a more costly process for hospitals. Hence, most institutions shifted to disposable single-use medical equipment. See? Technology made it easier and safer. The following advancements will amaze you more. First off, DNA modifications research has led to the very successful treatment of a serious skin disease undertaken by the Children's Hospital at Ruhr University in Germany together with specialists across Europe. A young Syrian boy named Hazan, suffering from a genetic disease called junctional epidermolysis bullosa, was successfully treated with genetically modified skin. Next, liquid biopsies to locate tumor DNA in medical world. According to the U.S. National Center of Biotechnology Information, liquid biopsies can uncover cell-free circulating tumor DNA, or ctDNA, which is proven to be more than 100 times more abundant in the blood than tumor cells, and sheds from a tumor in the bloodstream. Third, 3D visualization and augmented reality for surgery. Universities in the US, new innovations in technology called HoloLens goggles can help surgeons visualize regions of the body they cannot see, and thus change the way doctors operate. The goggles augment the surgical reality by projecting 3D images onto the real objects.
A typewriter is a mechanical or electromagnetical machine that was invented around the late 1800s for the sole purpose of writing characters. Typically speaking, a typewriter possesses an array of keys, and pressing one causes a different single character to be produced on the paper that has been placed by causing a ribbon with dried ink to be struck against the paper by a type element similar to the sorts used in movable type letterpress printing. So as to say, the output is ready at the same time that the one who inputs finishes typing. So what does letterpress printing mean? It is a process by which many copies are produced by repeated impression of an ink-raised surface against sheet or a continuous roll of paper. The outcome would be a sheet which is then adorned with images and texts and are commonly displayed on commercial areas and such. Usual products of these are tarpaulins and billboards that we see as we take a walk on the streets or during a ride in the highway. So back to the topic at hand. After their commercial release during the mid-1880s, they became an indispensable tool for everyone and are commonly found in offices and for business correspondence in private homes. It made things easier and convenient in terms of writing that aided scribes in information replication and as well as creation. During the advent of development, the typewriter developed into two separate items, but still served its ultimate purpose. These are the keyboard and the printer. The keyboard. The keyboard is an innovation which first appeared around 1930s, whose purpose is to enable a person to input information and make writing easier as well as convenient. They possess several keys with characters engraved or printed on them, which when pressed, would input a single symbol depending on the key that was pressed. Furthermore, pressing several keys at once would make the device execute a different function. And lastly, the printer. Although it is unable to create a product on itself, it primarily serves the same purpose as its predecessor. The printer as we know nowadays is an indispensable tool used by all, from kids of kindergarten to the elderly. Despite having several versions of it, they all serve the same purpose, which is to make writing convenient. Remember those times when you were asked by your teacher to write a reaction paper which should be submitted at the following day. With the keyboard and the printer, you wouldn't have to worry if your handwriting is unreadable, or that you wouldn't have to try so hard to make the letters really compressed to be able to hide the fact that you are unsure of the correct spelling of the word you're trying to use. Thanks to technology, we are able to pass information accurately and enjoy the knowledge that it sheds for us. Technology evolves to help humans evolve as well, and will continue to do so to serve its golden purpose, to provide us assistance from time and time again.